Just pull it.
Oh, so we're back finally. Cheers. Brought to you by Superbike. We're back. It's been a very busy summer, or spring and summer, between all the motorcycle crap that we've done and that I've done, and yeah, it's been wild. So, I guess first let's talk about my most recent purchase here, the 2022 Ducati Hypermotard SP.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another one. It's been a while. Very busy spring, very busy summer, between doing my first ever season of racing and familiar obligations in other countries. So it's actually very good to be back, just riding, throwing the camera on and just going for a nice little ride. It's a very nice, crisp Sunday afternoon here, and what better way to just go for a freaking rip on this just absolutely amazing Ducati Hypermotard SP 2022 model. There is no real difference between 22 and 23. They did make a very big revision to the Hypermotard in 22. We'll get into some of the specs here in a little bit as I'm stuck behind this whatever the hell it is. Let me get lost. Oh man, it's so hard to keep the front wheel down on this thing, but that's one of the reasons why I fucking love this thing. Oh, we got some leaves here, wonderful fall shit, some leaves. Oh, I've never taken this road before, so, well, road closed, wonderful.
Traded in the BMW, wanted something a little different, something a little more akin to Supermoto. Now that I'm racing Supermoto, I thought, well, if I still ride on the street, I kind of want something in the similar vein, and let me tell you, I'm not looking back.
No, it's great. That thing is, I mean, for the limited amount of time I've had riding it, that thing is a good bike.
This is a crazy fun bike.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. It looks good. Oh, it's a freaking Ducati. What do you expect? Single-sided swing arm, all the bits and bobs, the Maraschini forged wheels. The SP comes with all of that. You have the base model, so to speak, just the regular Hypermotard.
Is it just a 950? No
it's
SP?
950, no SP. That comes with it comes with sax suspension and just kind of more of the basic things.
Okay.
The SP comes with a full O-lean suite, so sits a little taller than the regular SP, so you get a little more lean angle, and and it's evident when you're trying to carve through some back roads here, or hopefully when I get a dry day at the track, I can actually
It is a Ducati, obviously. Beautiful looking bike, absolutely gorgeous. The livery, the SP livery just looks so good with the white and the SP on it. Oh man, I'll put it in the B. Obviously, I'll have some B-roll. This thing is just absolutely wonderful. And then when you just want to fuck around and just get on it, this thing has got so much torque. It just drives in and out of drives out of corners. The brakes are so good. The Brembo brakes are just absolutely amazing. You can just absolutely have so much fun. Oh man, like just absolutely at will. Doesn't matter. I'm just fucking tossing this thing. Doesn't really, dude, anything you throw at it, especially on the back roads, oh baby. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the engine. So this thing is powered by a 937cc L-twin, good for 117 horsepower and 71 pound-feet of torque. Now, the torque curve is like it's just a table basically. You got all the torque available to you anywhere above 3,000 RPM. You're going to have all the torque that you need. it is so engaging to ride. It's so much fun. Just powering out of corners, just diving into corners on the brakes. So it's got half the horsepower of, say, like a BMW S1000 RR, but this thing is just absolutely nuts. It just makes all its torque down low, so you feel so much faster. And frankly, a lot of the times that's what you want on the street. That's what you want on the road. You just want something you can just like flog a little bit, you get a little engaged, it's like, oh fuck yeah, let's go, baby.
It's anything over 3,000 RPM, it's torque. Yeah, it's just all torque.
It is super torquey.
So it's really hard sometimes to keep that front wheel down.
Yeah.
And well, frankly, I don't want to keep the front wheel down a lot of the times because it's just too much.
It's a lot of fun.
It's just a lot of fun. So.
And it was good. That front suspension actually, like normally you don't want to be picking up a front end all the time, you know, because you get that, you start compressing the front, then you start leaking, right? You get your seals start leaking. That thing is beefy. That front end is actually really nice. Like, it's meant for that travel.
Yeah, it's meant for the travel.
You could lift it up a few times and it won't hurt it too much.
It's meant for the travel, but also you got to remember, this is basically like a dirt bike on steroids.
Yeah, true.
You don't have mechanical front end. Yeah. You're not pushing that front end like, say, on the RC390 or a sport bike. You're not already mechanically pressing that front end down. This thing is up, so if you come up, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It is tall. It is. I was telling him I was riding this the whole time, and then we switched up, up the way there. And when I jumped on that, dude, I felt like I was on a monster truck. I was so high up. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then I lifted, I stood up on the pegs, and I was like, holy Jesus, I'm in the moon right now. This thing is way up.
I feel like I'm on a monster truck. On a monster truck? Oh, well, yeah.
This bike has no business existing.
No, it's great.
The fact that it does exist, and it does everything so well. It's not going to do. It's not a specialist in any one thing. It's not a multi-strata, so it's not like meant specifically for long range trips.
I can tell you what, I can ride that thing for a long time.
I would say the sport bike riders coming onto that think they can. They'll immediately feel like you can ride it for hours on end, and if frankly, kind of true. I mean, I get on this thing and I'm just like and all day, an hour, 2 hours doesn't. You just need to do some modifications to make it a little more long range friendly. It's not a sport bike, right? So it's not going to.
It's got the power of a sport bike.
Yeah,
that thing it's got some power.
Yeah, man, 111 horse.
That thing moves.
So the thing, it's heavy. It's still heavy. It's a supermoto. I'm gonna big air quotes. It's a supermoto, but it's heavy. It's got power. But once you get it out in the back roads, and that's where I think this bike excels 100%, is in the back roads. Just bombing through back roads, as you saw me. Just like I just bombed through them. You have the travel of the suspension, just your upright, the torque of the motor, so you can just power out of corners. It's just so much fun, this bike.
Just gotta be careful, some of the leaves, not good for traction, not optimal for traction, make the tire slip a little bit. Oh yeah, baby. Oh my god.
And it's like a niche bike. Like, I think people, I think the way I've seen the reception to this bike is like, people who know.
Yeah.
If you want to put that cliche to this bike.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, to be honest. When when I was first, like, you were talking about getting it, I was like, I mean, it looks cool, right?
Right.
It's a cool looking bike. I'll give it that much. But in terms of like what I thought you were gonna do with it, I was like, I'm trying to carve. Like, I'm trying to be out having fun.
Yeah.
This thing does that.
Yeah,
exactly. I didn't realize it did that the way it does it, right? So, no, I totally have a total different appreciation for the bike now that I've ridden it. It's actually a really phenomenal bike. It does what you want it to do. It feels comfortable. It has tons of torque. The quick shifter is amazing. That thing is so clean. I mean, I'm kind of sold on this bike. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it wasn't 16, 17 grand, it might be. Yeah. It might be part of the stable.
It's So I took it to the track, right?
Yeah.
The NYST was wet, but I wanted to take it out there. So another great thing about it, it's got a Bosch 6-axis IMU, the full electronics package. It's got wheelie control, traction control, ABS adjustments, and you can adjust all 3 riding modes, sport, touring, and urban, to whatever you want. So you can make your urban a sport. You can make your urban like as sporty as you want. You can make the sport as not as sporty as you want. So you can customize all 3.
Right. You're not
stuck in a category.
Sport, race,
right.
or
right.
you know, whatever the other third one is.
Right. Never since I've gotten this bike did I feel off on it. I immediately got on the bike and I'm like, this is awesome. The only thing I did was adjust the suspension. Shout out to Dave Moss. You got to do it.
Yeah.
We tweaked the front end. The front end was a little too much preload in the front end. The guy who had this previous was probably a bigger person than I, so front end was skipping out on me a lot of times. Like if I was trying to take a turn, as soon as I'd get on the side of the tire, the front end would like skip out. So we worked that. Now it's on the road. It's phenomenal. And then on the track, in the wet, I put it in the rain mode. It was a lot of fun. You saw me dive bombing into turn 1 already when I was trying, racing with that 748. I was in rain mode, so it cuts the power down to like, I don't know, 70, 80 horsepower or something like that. It cuts the power down. So he's like, why am I passing him on the straight? And meanwhile, I'm just but it was fun. We were having a little battle, but everything about it, just getting on the brakes are phenomenal. The Brembo brakes are phenomenal.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good.
I meant to tell you that he went on vacation, and he had me check up on the house, and he goes, have fun, go take it out, see how it feels. I'm like, you don't gotta tell me twice. Man, I hit the first turn, or the first stop sign, and I thought I was gonna go over the handlebars. Like, oh, this thing stops on a dime.
Yeah.
And you literally feel like you could go over the handlebars. Like there's like nothing there. It was just another thing you had mentioned was like everything feels like it's like when you're riding a bike. Yeah, you get that feeling of like you're immersed in everything, right? Everything is right in front of you. It's not like in the car, you got all these pillars, you got glass, you kind of have like a barrier almost in front of you. And on a bike, you get that as well, but this, you get that much more. So it's like there's nothing in front of you. It's just like you and the road almost.
And people will see it in the vlog footage. It's just wide open.
Yeah.
You see nothing but
there
the
is
road
no
in front of you.
visor. There's
no visor.
There's nothing in front of you, right? It kind of just feels like you're kind of floating almost. And let me tell you, you brake pretty hard, you definitely feel like you're about to just go right over that thing. But it was a good time. I like that bike.
So, I still struggle to think who this bike is built for. We discussed it's not a supermoto, right?
Yeah,
Supermoto is lightweight, nimble, blah blah blah, right? Dirt bike-esque. It's not a sport bike, obviously, because it's not a sport bike. It's got all of the elements of both, and they kind of like it's like if a Panigale had a kid with a supermoto, and it sort of came out like this.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. I think it's for somebody who's had a few years of riding experience and wants to try something new. Because the bike, I wouldn't put it. It's not a beginner bike.
No. Far from it.
It's not a beginner bike. Far from it.
Although, if you probably put all the bells, if you turn up all the aids,
maybe
probably, you might be okay.
Probably, but I think ride height is going to be a barrier for some people, especially new riders.
Oh yeah, I am tall, and I am just getting on that.
Yeah, ride height.
Yeah, that's
one
very,
thing.
Very good point.
The torque of the engine. It's a powerful, even though it's not a powerful bike per se. My BMW had double the horsepower basically, right? Mm-hmm. But this one feels double as fast, if that makes any sense, because just all the torque down low. So I think it's for riders that have riding experience, want to try something different, or that experienced rider that's looking for that next thing to master, like getting on something like this. I'd say it's an intermediate to advanced bike only, like in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I think it's a good daily bike. I think it's a nice. You can, if you're going to work on it, you're riding an hour, whatever, 45 minutes to work, whatever the case may be. I think that's a good travel bike. You can get to work, get back.
I do it all the time.
Yeah,
it's great.
I think it's a great back road. I didn't get it on the highway, so I don't know what it feels like on the highway. But I would
think of it this way.
The only
It's
thing
all
I
the
can
wind.
imagine is the wind. Is
Yeah,
just
it's the butt. You
smacking
get a lot. Yeah, the wind buffets a lot.
So maybe not if you're going pretty far. Maybe not. I don't
Maybe
know.
not. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You get yourself. You wear your ear protection.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have a decent helmet. It's not terrible. Frankly, the way I sat on the BMW and the way my visor was, I would get a lot of buffeting, even at like 70 an hour. So I hop on this. I was surprised I didn't get as much buffeting. So I think your mileage is going to vary, all puns intended, based on your height, everything, and what kind of gear you wear. So, but all right, we'll wrap that one up. That was quick. That was good. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want. Honestly, I don't really care if you do, because I'm not making any money off of these. But if you want to subscribe, I post when I can.
This is for fun.
This is for fun. Sometimes
I think this is for like us. Like,
it's for us.
Yeah,
it's mainly for us. So if you like what we do, subscribe. If you want, buy some merch. I have some pretty cool things. I have the link in my link in the bio of the channel. Buy some things. You support us. You support us being able to go to track days to review bikes, whichever bikes we can get our hands on. So, and if you're in the northeast area, and if you have a bike you want us to review, let us know. Shoot me a message, shoot me an email, and we'll link up and then we'll figure it out. So with that, thanks. See you later.
See you.